Let's say you're a millionaire, you've got money, you've got lots of money, or perhaps you just have enough money. You've got a family and you're running a very successful business. What would you do with your children? Would you let them go look for jobs outside, or would you rather they are part of your business to run your business? I know some of you would be saying, no, that's an obvious thing. Why would I let my child to go out there applying for jobs and stuff like that? It's not obvious. Others would actually argue that I don't want my children to be doing exactly what I'm doing. I would rather they do something else. Or even the children themselves, they would say, no, why would I be exactly what my dad is? So, what do you think? What's your take? It's a question that sparks a lot of debate. It might be straightforward for some of you, but it might spark some debate outside, especially with the people that have money, the wealthy. So currently there's a news of this man, Bernard Arnault. I think you all know him. He's the richest man currently. He's a French luxury billionaire and the world's richest person as we speak. Many of you know him as the owner of LVMH, the Louis Vuitton and the Moet Hennessy company, the luxury conglomerate that needs no introduction to most of you because you're actually using his products. So Arnault, whose net worth is estimated to be around 223, 24, somewhere there, 25, well, let's just say 200 billion, going up somewhere there. Things could have changed because, these billionaires, they earn money every day. He has just made a very significant decision that's turning heads in the world of business. So there's stories that he's expanded his family influence within the LVMH company by appointing 2 of his children to the company's board. But of course, that move is part of the broader reshuffling process following a vote because, these big companies, they first of all have to go to annual general meetings where the shareholders, stockholders, and everybody else meet. So 2 of his children are now part of the company. Now, for those of you who don't know the Bernard family and their companies, here's a brief overview about them. So Bernard Arnault oversees the LVMH empire, which has 75 fashion and cosmetic brands. That includes your Louis Vuitton, your Sephora, Marc Jacobs, Christian Dior, Bulgari, and there are a whole lot. And it says here, LVMH acquired American jeweler Tiffany and Company in 2021 for $15.8 billion. And that's believed to be the biggest luxury brand acquisition ever. Arnault's holding company, Agache-backed venture capital firm, Agley Ventures, which has investments in business such as your Netflix, TikTok parent company, I think you know that, ByteDance. And the history is that his father made a small fortune in construction. Then Arnault got his starting by putting up $15 billion from that business to buy Christian Dior in 1984. So that's the history about this family. So with the addition of the 2 now, that means that 5 of his children are now working for LVMH. Obviously, the father is the CEO of the company, currently serving also as the executive vice president of product, communication, and industrial at Tiffany & Co. And then you have one of his sons, Frederic Arnault, who's heading the LVMH watches department. And many are saying that with their expertise and family background, their inclusion on the board marks a strategic decision by Arnault, that's the father. What do you think? The whole family now is running the business. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And remember, it's worth noting also that this is not the first time that we've seen Arnault's offspring in the high-ranking positions with LVMH. The other children have also been there. They've been part of the business. Delphine Arnault, who's the CEO of Christian Dior, has been on the board since 2003. Anthony Arnault has also been a CEO of one of the companies. He joined somewhere in 2006 as well. So what does this mean for the future of LVMH and Arnault dynasty? Brilliant idea, good strategy? Well, some say it's a good thing in order to ensure continuity and obviously family control over one of the world's most influential companies. Others, however, are raising concerns about nepotism and its potential impact on the corporate governance. Will you serve a good purpose with the company that has a market value of $430 billion? I mean, personally, I feel that for the company that is doing so well, because Bernard has always been on top. I think he's always been on the top 5 or top 10 billionaires. Goes up and down. So I feel that the companies are doing well. If the children have been there to run the business or the businesses, then it's an advantage for him. So let's get into it now. Grooming family members to take over your businesses. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it a stroke of genius or is it a recipe for disaster? I feel that it does work for some advantage somehow. And I'm going to say somehow. Because one of the advantages is that you are grooming a family member who is very close to you, who you know so well, you built trust in this person, and you've created that understanding with them, obviously. And so it just becomes so easy to put them in the business. After all, who knows the quirks and business strategies better than your own flesh and your own blood? Plus, you also get to keep your family feuds confined to the office. I mean, there's nothing like a good old-fashioned boardroom that's filled with cousins, children, uncles and aunties together, sharing jokes together, laughing about family stuff. I think it'll be fun. But it can also work to the disadvantage. Think of this. Your family outing is ruined because Auntie Sally didn't get that promotion, or some cousin somewhere didn't do the job that was supposed to be done. And suddenly, on the other hand, your daughter or your son feels, oh, that cousin is given more opportunities and things like that. He got a raise and I didn't get a raise. Things like that, because you are all part of one family. Nepotism can also lead to resentment among non-family employees. If you've got other employees who are not part of the family, they'll start thinking you're treating your family members better than them. Yeah, so they might actually start feeling sidelined or overlooked. So you need to be sure to give extra cranberry sauce to smooth things over. But then on the brighter side, if you groom your family members, you can actually ensure that seamless transition of power, like passing your baton in a chaotic relay race. So I feel it only calls for the right training and mentorship. It's very easy to cultivate a new generation of leaders who embody those, values and visions of the company. And I feel you just need to make sure that you don't inherit your penchant for dad jokes. That could be a deal breaker. And again, on the flip side, have you ever heard of like father like son? Well, sometimes that's not a good thing. You need to bring in fresh perspective from outside the family circle. That can sort of inject some new life into the business, like adding a splash of color to a black and white photo. So what I'm trying to say is, if in the company you've developed the culture of doing things the same way within the family, sometimes the ideas are sort of narrowed down to one thing. But then if you spread your wings out and look for new ideas from outside, you never know. The company can actually be taken to greater heights. And then lastly, let me talk about the drama that comes from putting your children in the business. Because you've got 5 children like Bernard Arnault, you don't know who to pick. Are you going to pick the eldest son who has that business acumen? Or are you going to pick a rebellious daughter with a knack for innovation? Or are you going to go for the middle child who has no interest in your businesses whatsoever and start training him to start loving that business? It's a bit of a dilemma there, you can see. Because there are children that grow up to say, I don't want to be what my father was. I want to do my own thing. I don't want to be a doctor like my father. I don't want to be a nurse. I don't want to be a teacher. I want just to be in my own world. Yeah, so it's a tough one, friends. Grooming family members to take over your businesses, it can be a roller coaster of emotions with twists and turns, and occasionally can be a loop the loop. Whether it's a tale of triumph or tragedy, it ultimately depends on how you navigate the family tree. But hey, At least you never run out of office gossip, right? So what's your take on this development? Do you believe in grooming the next generation to take the helm of your family business? Do you think it's better to seek talent outside of your family setting? Let me know your thoughts.